Hi everyone, Brad Tonoff here, and today I'm excited to share with you my favorite cold email growth hacking strategy. Now, before we dive in, I want to real quick cover the benefits of why this strategy is so valuable. Number one, you will never have to buy a list. So, gone are the days of purchasing bad email addresses. Number two, this strategy will help protect your domain, which is super important because you don't want your day to day business emails showing up in someone's spam box. Number three, this strategy will help you get in front of your prospects, which is really what every business is trying to do. Number four, these emails will never bounce. You heard me right, they will never bounce. Number five, this is a very low cost strategy. Almost any business can afford to do this. And number six, this strategy is completely automated, which means you can go hang out on the beach and enjoy your margarita and watch the leads roll in. So let's get into it. Okay, let's take a quick look at what tools you'll need to execute this kick-ass cold email strategy. Number one, you'll need a LinkedIn account, which I'm pretty confident most of you already have. Next, you'll need a tool for LinkedIn automation. Uh, this tool will allow you to automatically send connection requests and messages to your LinkedIn connections. Tool that I really like and have been using recently is called WeConnect. You can see their URL on the screen there. Next, you'll need a domain name provider. This is where you'll buy a new website domain to use for your cold email campaigns, such as Namecheap or GoDaddy. Next, you'll need an email provider to connect your new domain to. G Suite is simple, straightforward, low cost, so I highly recommend you go with G Suite. And then you've got to purchase a cold email automation tool. And one that I really like and have been using a lot of recently is called Lemlist. You can see the URL on the screen there. Other tools that you may have heard of are Yesware, Mixmax are both good alternatives. And what we're looking at here in terms of cost is about $86 per month plus whatever the cost of your domain was. So relatively low cost, pretty much a no-brainer for any business. Now you're probably wondering, why is LinkedIn so important to this strategy? Well, you can see here on my screen contact info, and guess what you see right here? Email address. So when you connect with somebody on LinkedIn and you become a first degree connection, depending on the privacy settings that that person has on their LinkedIn account, they may or may not make their email available to you. So when they do, that's great. Once you've connected with that person, you have access to their email. It's typically a personal email, such as a Gmail, Hotmail, or AOL account. So once you've connected with somebody, you can start to cold email them, right? Next, we want to take a look at this tool I mentioned earlier called WeConnect. What is WeConnect? WeConnect is a tool that anybody can use for LinkedIn automation. So what it does is it actually connects to your LinkedIn account, and you are able to do different sorts of automated campaigns. One of those campaigns, and as you can see here, I've actually sent out quite a bit of connection requests and have connected with nearly 600 people using WeConnect. So let's take a quick look at how this works. First thing that you need to do with WeConnect is run a search on your LinkedIn account. And then you're actually going to take the URL from that search and you're going to plug it in right here. So let me show you what I mean. Over here, I've run a search of directors of customer success at tech and software companies. Okay? And these people are my second degree connections. So I've checked off second degree here. I've also checked off United States. I've checked off the industries, internet and computer software. And finally, in the title section here, I typed in Director of Customer Success. So this is just an example of maybe a cohort that I would like to reach out to for a cold email campaign. After running this search, it kicked back 692 results. That means with all of those filters, I have 692 second degree connections that fit this criteria, which is great. And can't see this on your screen right now, but I'm going to copy the URL and we're going to go back to this screen here and we're going to paste it. So this is the URL from the search, and what happens is once I hit this, it's actually going to take that search and all of those 692 people we just looked at, and it's going to put it here in WeConnect. Okay, so take a look here. These are my directors of customer success. And what's great about this is now I can actually save this list and start to automate sending out connection requests. So as you can see here, I have saved lists, and once I do save that list, I can use it in a campaign. Okay, so here we are. I'm in the campaign section on WeConnect, and I've named my campaign Connection Invite Director Customer Success Tech. Now, WeConnect actually has a few different types of campaigns that you can run. In addition to the invite, you can actually send messages or a sequence of messages. You can endorse people, follow them, or visit their profiles. For this particular cold email strategy, the most important campaign is connecting with people. This is where you select your list. I've selected the list that we just saved, and now I hit save and continue. Now, here's actually where you put your message, your connection message, and you have 300 characters, so you have to keep it short, and you have to give people a reason to connect with you, but you also don't want to come off as that aggressive salesperson that's just trying to sell something on LinkedIn like everybody else, right? So I really like this message because I'm connecting with people in the tech industry. So what I'm saying here is I'm looking to connect with you and would like to expand my network because of our mutual interest in technology. And then I share an interesting fact about myself. This is sort of what humanizes me and why people accept my connection request. I tell them a little fun fact about me. So, fun fact, a couple years ago, I saw Jerry Seinfeld post on Twitter that he was doing a stand-up comedy show in 1 hour, and I rushed up to the comedy club in Manhattan, actually got in, and it turned out to be a Netflix special. So I send this message out to people, and they accept my connection. Now, here's where you can actually set up how many invites you're able to send each day. WeConnect has a limit of up to 100. I recommend you don't go that aggressive and usually try to stick around the 50 per day mark. You can also set your schedule here for when those invites will go out, what times, what days, etc. Then finally, you get to review your campaign, and you can see the setup here, the messaging, right? It automatically puts that first name in there, and then your settings. Finally, you hit send, and boom, you've got a campaign. your campaign automatically launches and you just sit back and watch the connections roll in. So as you can see here, here's another campaign that I ran a couple months ago, and here are all the different people that I've connected with. So this is where the strategy gets really good. WeConnect actually allows you to export your connections. And with WeConnect, it will actually export that email address we looked at earlier. So LinkedIn doesn't have a native function like this where you can export your connections email addresses. So that's sort of one of the secret sauces of WeConnect. I can export a CSV file, an Excel file, Google Sheets, whatever you're using for your spreadsheets, and you'll get all of that valuable information on a spreadsheet. So that's really where you're getting the emails from. And just to reiterate, you over time can see days where you're getting 23, 20, 17, right? You're getting every day new connections. And from my experience, over 50% of those people you connect with will actually make their email available to you. So that's the first part of this strategy. And I recommend you do this first because it'll take some time, a couple weeks, to really build up a good list of connections and emails that you can use for your cold email campaign. So let's now dive into the next step here. You do need to buy a new domain, and the reason you need to buy a new domain is because you don't want to do cold email marketing with your primary company domain, right? Because you, as the CEO or director of marketing, are sending what we call day-to-day emails. Maybe you're sending an email to your colleague or a client, and you don't want your cold email to interfere with that day-to-day email that you do send. So cold email historically can get marked as spam. We take all the necessary precautions to make sure that doesn't happen, but inevitably there could be some spam there. So you do want to keep your cold email domain separate from your regular domain so there's no interference, and you don't have to worry about your super important email to your most important client showing up in their spam box. So here's an example. This is a website called Namecheap, namecheap.com. You can buy domains. Here I've typed in myname.co. Let's do a search. Okay, and as you can see here, I can buy this domain name for $7.48 for the first year, and after that it's $23.98. Now, don't anybody out there buy this domain name, okay? But it's pretty simple. All you do is buy it, you can put it on your corporate card, and you've got a new domain name. So once you do that, you need to connect this domain to an email provider. And like I said earlier, I recommend G Suite. Super easy. Register your domain with G Suite. And then once you do sign up and pay, they even do have a 14-day free trial. After that, its basic package is $6 a month. So nothing too expensive. Once you do buy that domain and sign up for G Suite, you're going to need to do some more technical things here. So this is Namecheap, and we're here in the advanced DNS section. So this is where you actually link the two together, right? And this is getting a little bit in the weeds, so I'm going to kind of gloss over this, but I will post some links in the comments, and you can feel free to reach out to me and ask me any additional questions. But essentially what we're doing here is connecting your domain to your email provider, right? After that, what you want to do is sign up for a tool, and I mentioned this earlier, and you can actually see this is a family business that I'm doing some cold email for. So, tool called Lemlist, and super important. What you do want to do with Lemlist is create your own unique tracking URL. So that's it's another thing that email providers have gotten very sophisticated. If they see the same tracking domain coming from different people, they start to realize, okay, this is some type of automated strategy, and they'll ding that for spam. And so in order to set up your own domain tracking, pretty simple here with Lemlist. You type in track dot and whatever your actual website is, the new website that you just registered for, right? Once you do have that, it takes about 24 hours to populate on the internet, and you go back to your Namecheap, DNS, Advanced DNS, and here's where you'll actually type in custom.lemlist.com. And then these two will actually speak to each other, and what ends up happening is this becomes your unique tracking URL. Okay? So once you've signed up for Lemlist, you've got your LinkedIn automation going. One of the keys to cold email marketing is what we call the email warm-up. So everybody wants to sign up for cold email and then start blasting out to thousands of people every day. The thing about that is it's a big red flag for email providers that a new email address is sending out mass amounts of emails all at once, and that immediately will get flagged for spam. So what's really cool about Lemlist is this feature called Lemwarm. And what this does is you give Lemlist permission to send and receive emails from your new email account. And this basically, they, over the first 30 days, will send and receive multiple emails per day. And it will make it look like a real person is sending emails from your account and a real person is replying to those emails. And what this does is it helps build your email credibility with email providers. And so this initial step, which typically takes 30 days to get up and running, is super important. You cannot skip this step. One thing that you can do is in those first 30 days, you can send some email. In the first week, you can send 25 a day. In the second week, you can do 50 a day, and so on. After those 30 days, you can go all out and do as many as your email provider will allow. I believe Gmail allows up to 2,000 emails per day. And let's just take a quick look, because it is pretty funny, the emails that Lemlist will send during the warm-up period. So I just wanted to show you how some of these look. Wolf is a panda's bear. Dear Amanda, I cannot separate dolphins. Hello, Mark. The camel of a pineapple becomes, right? Very funny emails that this was not sent to spam, because I actually created a folder that will put anything from Lemlist into a folder so it doesn't mark it as spam, which is also an important step in this process. So none of these emails have been marked as spam. So what's happening here is I'm actually building my email credibility, right? Once you've gone through all this, you've got your LinkedIn automation going. within the first couple weeks, you'll have a nice list that you can export, and you can start doing cold email campaigns. So head over to here, you name your campaign, you'll then add who you're going to include in the campaign. So we'll do a test here. This is where you'll upload your CSV that you're getting from WeConnect. Once you've done that, you can either do a blank template or a template email. I typically like to do a blank template. Lemlist has some great features here. You can do custom variables. So when you're emailing somebody, make sure you include their first name to personalize that. And then finally, you'll schedule your email. So you'll pick your time zone. You'll pick how many you want to send to each day, between what hours and which days. And then finally, you'll have a few additional options here. So you'll want to stop sending emails when, for example, somebody replies, right? Somebody replies to your email, that's an opportunity for you to actually jump in and manually respond. So at that point, automation will stop. If somebody clicks or opens, you can also have that option. You do want to track your emails, but only if you have that custom tracking, which I described a little bit earlier. And here's a really great feature, create an opportunity when. So you can either choose to create an opportunity when somebody replies to an email, or when somebody clicks on an email, or both. And then, boom, create your campaign. And that's essentially the entire strategy. And what's great about this is you're getting 100% verifiable emails. You'll see very high open rates, over 50%, sometimes 75% or higher. And that really depends on the upfront research that you do. If you are doing more in-depth research in the beginning, determining who you will connect with on LinkedIn, and you're very targeted with your strategy there, you'll see higher open rates because your target market is going to be more interested. And if you have somebody looped into your LinkedIn search that might not be a great fit, they may not open your email. So all in all, this strategy, like I said, $86 a month. You're adding sometimes 20 new people to your evergreen campaign every day. And there you have it. That is my cold email, kick-ass cold email growth hack, which I hope that you all found some value from. And I'm happy to answer any questions. Like I said, if you do want to reach out, you can find me right here on Calendly. Schedule 15 minutes with me. We'll take a closer look and see how I can be of assistance for you. Thanks everyone for your time today, and have a great rest of your week.